What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to wherever you are in the world. This is your girl, Laquana McIntyre. I am successful too, and you're watching The Road to Success. Today's video, guys, I hope that this video encourages someone and just allows someone to change their mindset when it comes to this particular topic. And that's for the ones who are suffering from this current state of mind. The current state of mind that I am currently referencing to is the gender war that is currently going on in the Black community. Yes, the gender war that is going on in the Black community, specifically on social media. Now, I didn't really know too much about this gender war thing until I really got active on social media, because from where I'm from the South. Like, Black men love their Black women, Black women love their Black men. But when you get on social media, there are so many videos out about why Black men are choosing to go to other races of women and why other races of women is so much better to deal with. And now you have a lot of Black women who are encouraging other Black women to also do the same thing. Okay? Now, disclaimer, this video is not to say that you to not date outside of your race. Okay? Like, if you happen to find love and it just so happens to be outside of your race, more power to you, blessings to you. I pray it works out well for you. I have nothing against interracial relationships whatsoever. I'm speaking specifically to the Black men and women who is choosing to go outside of their race simply because they hate each other, because they've had a bad experience with a Black man or a bad experience with a Black woman, and now you're wanting to go outside of your race. What I don't respect neither is how out loud a lot of us are being by going online and uplifting these other races. Let me use a different word, pedestalizing these other races. I cannot stand to hop on a video and see a Black man pedestalize another race of woman over his Black queens. If that's what you want to do, if you're choosing to date another race, do it in silence. Why do you have to come and attack us while you're doing so? Is that because you're thinking it's forcing a Black woman to change or become what you want her to be? Because if that's the case, that's not exactly how it works. Same thing that goes for a Black woman. If you are sick and tired of Black men, I do not like whenever you get online and you start to be very loud and expressive about why Black men are trash, because other races are loving to see this. And what trips me out is I don't see other races doing this. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay, in the comments. I have yet to see a white man go online somewhere and bash white women, or a white woman go online and bash white men. And the same applies for other races. The Spanish culture, I haven't seen it. I definitely know they're not doing it in the Spanish culture, because that is so important for them to, that's part of their culture. You know what I'm saying? They're loyal to each other, their family, their culture, their women, their men. And I just don't ever see them getting online like we are doing as Black people and bashing each other and reading each other to the filth. Like, what is going on? Okay, so I did make some notes for this video, okay, because I mean, there's just a few different things that I do want to touch on, okay. But let's just, the point of this video is, again, to hopefully encourage each other in why it is important to start uplifting each other, and just for you to understand that we operate better together, and it's time we start acting like it. We already have to overcome a lot of white supremacy, so it doesn't make it any better when not only we have to go out here and navigate the world when it comes to being black, but now we got to also fight each other too. You know, that to me, that's too much. So let's first talk about the impact of the gender war. Now, real talk, the gender war is very exhausting, okay? We are literally tearing each other down instead of building each other up, okay? We're tearing each other down instead of building each other up. If there is a woman like myself, okay, y'all, and I'm just personally referencing to myself, because I had to go off personal experience. Me in particular, I love black men, and I have some very strong black men figures in my life. I have no reason at all to hate black men. But when I get online and I choose to put myself out there to the world, you know, in hopes of, you know, the embetterment of our people or our women, whenever there are black men in particular who are in my comments and they're tearing me down over nothing, that makes me feel some kind of way. It really, really do. It starts to make me want to start putting you guys in boxes when it's an overwhelming amount. Now, that would never happen, okay? But why not? If you disagree with something that a black woman or black man is saying or doing, and this doesn't just go online, this could be in person. Instead of generalization, you know, and putting all black women in a box and saying, oh, you a black woman, I know that's how you think. Why not, like, more so come from a position of encouragement? Even if you feel like it's something that I'm saying that's detrimental to the community, encourage that queen and provide her with a different perspective, and then provide provide something to back up why you think you have that perception or perspective. You know, like, come up with some solid evidence as far as why she should change her perspective on whatever it is she's talking about, versus automatically attack. And there is men and women who are so childish and so petty, they would even get online and succumb to grade school children and start attacking the way you look, the way you talk, calling you names. Like, who raised y'all? I'm really feeling like a lot of this is happening, the gender war thing, because of how y'all was raised. Because you were raised as broken homes. No one was there to teach you any better. And let's be clear, in the black community, there is a lot of single parent homes, okay? I don't have any kids, but from what I'm understanding, it takes a village to raise a child. So my heart goes out to a single mom who's had to raise a child on her own. So I can only imagine if she's raising a boy, there are certain things that are getting missed. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, this little boy is growing up to be an uncivilized citizen. And please believe, when those men are the ones who are commenting and saying the trashiest things, those are the ones who did not get the proper upbringing, and somewhere, somebody missed. Okay? The next thing is, I want to say the media, and I'm going to say social media in particular, is adding fuel to the fire. Perpetuating negative stereotypes and making us look like we're at war with each other. And y'all are letting it happen. A lot of these videos that are bashing black women and black men has hundreds and thousands of views. Hundreds and thousands of views. But I guarantee you, if there is a video that is uplifting a black queen or a black man, that video does not get as many views. Like, it doesn't. And if you notice, because of how desperate people are for views and click and money nowadays, a lot of people are willing to join the bandwagon. and jump on board and talk about the same things, use the same talking points. You know what I'm saying? Which is adding more fuel to the fire. More fuel to the fire. So and I really feel like social media is playing a huge actually that social media is why this gender war is going on. I mean, I have a few homegirls, including myself, who has been hurt by the opposite sex. And it's real. We can't deny that pain, but we can't let that pain define us and how we feel about our men overall. See, this is one thing that I noticed. This is a difference between men and women. And again, this is not to bash men or anything by any means, but this is my observation. And this is actually what I've been told from men themselves. Whenever, I think women, we're more prone to pain. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. Number one, we have monthly periods. We are the ones who has to go through the pain as we're having a baby. Okay. So we're more already prone to pain. So that somewhat translate into when it comes to our emotional pain. It's almost like we're very resilient when it comes to pain, almost to the point where it becomes toxic. I'm gonna be honest, because some ladies who will literally deal with a man who cheats on her over and over again, and it's almost like she's a pain freak, and she just keeps taking it until she loses it. And then she'll end up getting out of that relationship, and she will let it happen to her again because she's so resistant to pain. You know what I'm saying? And she just has to fill that void. And a lot of women are hopeless romantics. Like we and I love that about us. Now we don't really never give up on love. We do truly feel like there is love out there for us, but sometimes we do it where it's a detriment to us. Men, however, on the other end, you can have a man who gets cheated on or get hurt just by one woman, and that's changed his whole life. The trajectory of his dating, the women he deal with. Now it's like, I'm through with women. Women ain't ish. And then again, if it's a black woman, black women ain't ish. If it's his mama, black women ain't ish. And he will carry that stereotype on for the rest of his life. And until someone truly proves him different, if she can prove him different. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to mention, like, you have, my gosh, you have societal pressures where already they're, you know, encouraging men to not get married and mess with multiple women. So if you add that on top of the hurt that he's already experienced from that one woman, oh sis, he ain't never coming back. He ain't never coming back. It truly takes a man of God and a man who has really got in tune with himself to not let that define him and use and blame us. You know what I'm saying? All of us for that one to two women that did hurt him. This could be for women as well, but I see this more so of on the man side. Okay, so let's talk about the root causes of the gender war, because we all know that it definitely starts back from our history. We do have a very, very, very controversial history as blacks. Okay, slavery, colonialism, patriarchy, all that trauma still affects us today. And a lot of us are very mentally disturbed due to these conditions impoverishing us. You know what I'm saying? So we're growing up, we grew up in poverty. We've been in survival mode all of our lives. A lot of us need mental therapy. We need therapy for our mental, therapy for our emotions, because we are carrying all this trauma from these generational curses on our backs. And we don't know how to properly love each other. We don't know how to properly be a husband or properly be a wife. Heck, we don't even know how to be a girlfriend or boyfriend, if that's your get down. We don't know what real love looks like or what it feels like, because we have not grown. We haven't grown. Some of us has not grown up in a household where that's been put on display for us. We have not actually seen a man and woman together and loving each other properly through the test of time. We can take it back to the old school and say, oh well, our ancestors did that. But even with that, those women were controlled. They were, and this is not all, but a lot of those women were only there because they had no choice. They didn't have money. They didn't have a job. They literally had to depend on their husband. Their job was to stay at home and raise the kids, cook and clean. They had no means to do anything else. If they wanted to leave, they couldn't leave because they didn't have the means to do so financially. So they had to stay home and take the abuse. If you look back at your granddaddy, a lot of y'all granddaddy had side babies. A lot of y'all got half brothers and half sisters, but your mama stayed with him because a lot of times she had no choice. I understand y'all try to say women were stronger back then, and in a lot of ways they were, but again, I need you to consider that a lot of them had no choice. And now us women, we do have options because we make money as well. You know what I'm saying? So you may not see women sticking around as much, and now that's creating more so the single parent household. But you know, once again, you know, just because there's two parents in the household, taking it back to what I was just saying, that does not mean that was still a healthy environment. You know what I'm saying? So again, a lot of us have not actually seen what it looks like for a man and woman to properly love each other, because that's not part of our culture, family values and such in the Black community. And again, this is just my perspective. You know, you may feel different, and if you feel different, I would love for you to leave a comment below. You know, let's not also forget about internalized misogyny and toxic masculinity, y'all. Okay, we got to confront that within ourselves. The men in particular who are battling with that. Okay, and even with the feminist groups, okay, I don't want to just relegate it to the men. Even with the feminist groups, again, that toxic masculinity, misogyny, and the feminist groups, a lot of that is stemming from some kind of hurt or pain within. That is a pain or hurt that you have against your mama, your daddy, or other women that you dealt with that hurt you, and you do not know how to address it. The only way you know how to address it and express it is by putting down the opposite sex. And that's something to consider and confront within yourself. Ask yourself, you know, whenever I say these things against men or women, is this coming from a place of hurt? Who hurt me in the past? When did it happen? These are things to ask yourself to address why you think the way you think. Let's talk about breaking the cycle of bitterness. Hey, y'all, I got a lot of little points here, okay? I really thought this out, okay? And I feel like I'm still missing some things. But let's just talk about breaking the cycle of bitterness. I definitely think that we as a people need to start talking, having more communication, stop assuming, no more jumping to conclusions, okay? I can't tell you how many men I have met who has naturally automatically deemed me as being a certain type of woman just because of my independency. What they don't know is me being independent is definitely not by choice. It's almost as if I was forced to do that or have to be independent because of, I'm gonna say, the environment I'm around. You know what I'm saying? Like the times that we are in, you know, it is not practical for a woman in this day and age to wait for her Prince Charming to come and have a Cinderella story. That is not practical. As a woman nowadays, if you want to have things in life, you cannot wait around on Prince Charming. You got to go out there and get it. You got to take care of business, because if you don't, you are going to be left behind. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be taking care of some dusty. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's amazing how, a lot of our black men and women will meet someone because of their trauma or their, assumptions towards us as a whole. And they start just automatically put you in a box. And it don't matter what you show them. You could be showing them something totally different. Their mind is still going to revert back to the negative. Okay, let's start learning how to actively listen, learning more empathy and more understanding. I feel like if a lot of us start going to get therapy, start talking to God more, and just start like really getting to know each other mindsets and why we think the way we think. If you meet a black woman and she's aggressive and she's loud, instead of matching her energy, why don't you start calming down so you can bring her down a few notches? Become a leader in that situation. Become a man. Again, don't match her energy, getting emotional with her. And start trying to understand where is this coming from. Be the voice of reason. I feel like the men that be talking about how black women are so masculine and strong-headed, it's so hard to deal with. A lot of it is because a lot of y'all ain't stepping up to the plate. You ain't really putting it down like you're supposed to. And when I say putting it down, like you're not really like standing 10 toes down on your throne. Women, we want to be led in a proper kind of way and by a man who possess power. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all just ain't giving that. You're giving weak, you're giving beta, you're giving pushover, you're scared, you're fearful, you don't know how to talk to a woman and really like be that man that possesses that assertiveness for her. And that's where you fail. That's where you fall. And this is for the women who are hard to deal with. The ones y'all say are hard to deal with. I guarantee you, if she ran into a man that really possessed those masculine traits and stop trying to be princess and stop talking about how, you're the prize and how you need to be chased and how, oh, she got to show me she like me. Maybe it'll be different. You know what I'm saying? I also want to say this, y'all, because I have I know we're talking about, the resolution part. But I want to like touch on that a little bit when black men say they had a better experience on the other side. Okay, I can understand that you may have very well had a better experience on the other side because there are cultural differences over there when it comes to, the Spanish culture or white women or whatever. They were more so raised in environments where becoming a wife was very important. Hell, I think a lot of them went through actual they were prepped for that. That's what I'm trying to say. They were prepped for that as little girls growing up to older women. But not only that, I feel like a lot of y'all are like just so used to what you're familiar with, which is the black girls. When you meet another woman of another race, you pedestalize her. So it could be red flags or there could be things that she's doing, but you're overlooking it because this is different. It's not familiar for you. Therefore, it's more of a prize. You're going to be more tolerable when you're going to tolerate a lot more when it comes to her because to you, she is something that you've always wanted. And I just don't want to mess this up. So you could very well be getting a bad experience over there, but we're never going to hear about it because this is, again, something different for you. This is exotic. This makes you look like the man. You know what I'm saying? So think about that too. Let's think about that too. But let's get back to resolution. So we got to learn how to resolve conflicts in a healthy way. No more tearing each other down. A lot of us are going to need therapy to get to that because a lot of us don't know how to do that. Let's be real. Let's talk about building bridges and fostering unity. Let's learn how to start finding common ground Okay, let's start having mutual respect, trust, and support for each other. That's going to be the foundation of a strong relationship between us. Let's celebrate our wins, lift each other up, and show the world what Black love and unity look like. I'm tired of us being in the news for negativity. I know that this is a lot to ask for, because there is a lot to tackle when it comes to us as a whole, as Black people. There is a lot to tackle. I understand there's a lot of Black women that don't want to be held accountable. I understand that there is a lot of strong-minded, I can do what I want Black women. I do understand that. I do understand that there is a lot of hurt, broken men out here. You know, so whenever we factor those things in, we got a long way to go, and I don't even think it's possible. But I just feel like just to have a piece, just to be a little small voice of reason in the community goes a long way. This could touch one person, and that's enough for me. That's enough for me. And even if it don't, I would love to just engage with others and have conversation as to why, just to get a more understanding of what's going on. So let's just start taking a hard look in the mirror. What biases, assumptions, or behaviors you have to work on? You need to start asking yourself that. Let's engage in tough conversations, listening actively, and approaching with empathy. I want you guys to share your experiences and thoughts below. I would love that. Even better, like, I know there's a lot of panels that are going on online right now, but I would just love, like, to and I'm still thinking about this, like creating a panel with Black men and women and just really like tackling this subject of what's really going on. And this is like so I feel so passionate about this topic because I just recently, you know, had a guy I was talking to who felt the need to pedestalize, you know, the Spanish women and their culture, and why he felt like it was a better fit for him versus Black women. And I was very like intrigued, or not intrigued, but it was just kind of sad to hear what he was saying. Let's just put it like that, sad. Because all I could hear was hurt and pain. That's what I could hear. I felt hurt, pain, and pedestallation. Pedestallation. I don't know if I said that right, but okay. Alright guys, so that is all I got for this video. I really, again, would love for you to just leave a comment below. Let's, you know, just get a little conversation going about this. But nevertheless, be sure you are subscribed and rate the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.